Hey, this is That Fabric Guy, and today we are going to build a Microsoft Fabric app in order to do an analysis of taxi data using visualizations that we do not have in Power BI. We can maybe, I don't know, let's just brainstorm about what we can do. Walking through Manhattan, seeing pickups and so on. I'm not quite sure where we will end up today. I'm winging it. This is also the first Fabric app that I'm ever going to build. So let's do that together and dive right into my laptop. Alright, so here we are on Microsoft Fabric. I am in that Fabric Guy workspace in a folder called Fabric Apps, and there's no apps in here because I have not been building any apps before. I'm a bit late to the game, I know, but let's start building our first app. Let's click New Item and then go to All Items. And then here we see App Preview under Recents, because indeed I have not been building apps, but I've clicked that button before. And if we search for app, we will find the app preview in here as well. So let's call this NYC taxi analysis and hit create. And now we are prompted with a question, what type of app we want to build. Now with Rayfin we can create a blank app that allows us to build anything. It can also create a to-do app. That's basically an app that has a to-do list with items you can check off with data storage in a Fabric SQL database. So that's a pre-filled app that we can use to kickstart a project. And we can create a data app, and the data app is the one that we're going to use right now, because we are going to connect to our Fabric data to a semantic model that I have in Fabric, and we're going to build visualizations on top of that semantic model without using Power BI, but with using Rayfin and Fabric apps. So let's click on data app, and it is now deploying the data app. And it is asking us to go into a terminal and then navigate to the folder where we want to create the project and blah, 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 blah. So let's start doing that. All right, so we are here in Visual Studio Code. This is the code editor of my choice. I can edit files in my local Mac. I can use Claude Code to edit files, and I can work with Git and Azure DevOps and Fabric and everything that I use in my daily life. So this is actually the number one place where I would want to create an app like the New York City taxi analysis app that we're going to build. All right, so let's first go to view and let's hit the terminal view right there. There we go. And let's go back to the browser, and it is now asking us to run this. So let's copy and paste. Okay, so it's now actually scaffolding an app, a Rayfin app, and this is really cool. So this is looking fine. The scaffolding is done and the project has been created successfully. And now we have to do some other things. So let's see what Fabric is telling us. So for editing the app, we have to navigate to the project directory. So let's do that. Let's say cd and go to the directory. There we are. And let's hit npm run dev. That starts the environment. And that should allow us to browse the app locally. So let's do that. Can't open this app outside Fabric. That's not supported right now. Okay, this is interesting. So, well, then let's publish to Fabric. I mean, that's fine. In the meantime, we can go to chat and just remove that or forget about that. We have Claude Code right here. Let's put the model to Sonnet. That should be good enough for now. Okay, let's, in a rebooted terminal, let's see what we can do. Let's do the npx Rayfin app. There we go, and it was not successful. Let's go into the taxi analysis first. And then we do the Rayfin app. Now it's found the project and it's actually deploying to this workspace. That's all looking good. And for me, this is quite new. I've not been working with terminal that much. So this is quite new for me. But it seems to be working. This is actually quite cool because we have now scaffolded an app and published it back into Fabric. So let's see what that would look like. Here we have the app. And if we open it, we can find the app not being able to open it outside of the Fabric portal. Let's start asking Claude Code and switch to Opus, and let's put the effort to high. Let's see. Okay, so Claude has been finding everything here. It's reading the documentation and the skills that are included with Rayfin. That's actually quite important. And here's the answer. So what we need to do is, it's not a Rayfin concern actually. So, all right. Nothing is connected right now. That makes sense. Let's do the login first. So let's log in. This is logging into a different browser, but that's fine. It's now trying to log into all the tenants that I have access to. And we got access to the Kimura tenant, which is the one that I actually want to go into, which is number 8. Okay, so I'm logged into Azure. Now, let's go into taxi. I'm already in taxi analysis, so I don't need to do that. Let's find out about this one right here. And let's grab our taxi analysis. It is in the data agent 1, and there we have a semantic model. I think it's this one, which is the aggregated semantic model that I've been using in the data agents example. Yeah, this is the one. All right, that's good. That should be the one. Okay, so asking for the actual taxi analysis one, and it should be, I think the 7F is the one that it should be. Yeah, it's that one. Okay, so Claude is actually really helpful here, and the reason that that works is that Rayfin has been built with agents in mind. So that means that the SDK is not necessarily built for human developers, but rather for GitHub Copilot, for Claude Code, for OpenAI Codex, perhaps. And Claude is now able to reason through both the repository, the skills, the documentation, and therefore it knows a lot about Rayfin, about Fabric apps, and it knows a lot about what to do. I do not know a lot about what to do with this type of code, with a React web application. I've never built one before, but because I understand quite well how Fabric behaves, how semantic models work, and how Claude Code can be manipulated in order to do stuff, I can probably force myself through into creating a functioning application using Rayfin. It is working with the Fabric CLI, the command line interface, in order to actually figure out things inside Fabric. This is how it was fetching the semantic models that we saw earlier. Now the gold taxi data connection is actually being added. And maybe we should put this to bypassing permissions, because I simply will be clicking yes, allow. So let's make the agents just do everything. Okay, it's now finding the columns and all the other metadata for the model. This is actually quite interesting. So that means that it is actually figuring out how the semantic model is working in order to show the number of trips per borough. And I think in the end I'm going to ask it to create a sort of flight model, an overview where we fly over the city and see trips originating day by day across a timeline or something like that. That would be really cool. Maybe like a heat map of some kind. And let's see what we can do there by just vibe coding this Rayfin app. It's now figuring out the format strings of the measures. And let's see here. So it's seeing the burrows. This is all looking good. It is now reading a visual reference for Vega Lite. That means that it is working on visualization in the web end, in the web app front end, which is definitely something that is very new for me. So let's pay attention to what's been going on right here. It is checking metadata types and byte typings before writing, reading to data table, byte environments. All right, so I would assume this is now creating a visualization in Vite and in TypeScript. Okay, so in the meantime, I clicked on View App. This was my mistake. I opened the URL outside of the Fabric environment. That's not going to work. You have to click View App in order to actually find the app itself. And this is mandatory for apps that use, let's see, for apps that use semantic models as their source. Let's go back to VS Code. And now in order to create a visual, let's try and find out visuals. Let's see if we can find some good examples here. No, I want to see, these are all beautiful images, by the way. I want to see more of a top-down view of New York. This is cool. Awesome, the island of Manhattan. Look at how big Central Park is. That's amazing. Okay. All right, so it did do something. It connected to the semantic model. That's amazing. It found a schema. It added files. What files were added? Source queries, trips. That's great. That's amazing. All right. On a pickup basis, these were the trips. Blank row, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now let's push the npx Rayfin up. There we go. It's now deploying. And let's see what it came up with. We are live. Okay, let's go in here. Let's view the app. It's now connecting and let's refresh. It's still not showing anything. Maybe you should refresh the page as well. I'm not sure. No, nothing is showing here. Okay. Maybe we should build first. It did publish just a minute ago. So why don't we see anything in here? Yeah, it's showing nothing. Yeah. Show the chart and make it simple. Nothing too fancy. I just want to see the data there. Now, coding an app might take a lot of time. Vibe coding the app might also take a lot of time because we're now watching something else code our app, right? So we're now just looking at what Claude is doing here, and let's see. It seems to have finished. Let's see what its answers are. The chart is wired up. The bundle jumped, blah blah, Vega is included, okay. It added stuff, that's cool. It cannot run browser validation, that's fine. Yes, publish please. Okay, now we could have probably done the npx Rayfin up ourselves from the terminal, but just asking the agent to do it would be nice. It's publishing, running a dry run. It found the Rayfin project. It's using the project name text analysis. This is all fine. It should not create in my workspace. No, it's deployed. Let's check for ourselves by refreshing the app. There we are. Something has changed. This is actually really cool. And now let's see what is actually going to happen. It is a bit slow. And slow is fine, I guess, for now. And there we have it. We have created a visualization in Fabric Rayfin. This is awesome. I did not program a sentence, not a letter, not a word, nothing. And we got this pretty visual inside Fabric. Now, would I have been faster creating this visualization using just Power BI? Given that the semantic model is an existing semantic model and we can do Power BI on top of that semantic model, then yes, of course, Power BI would have been a gazillion times faster. But here's the kicker. We're now going to create a visual, or at least we're going to try. I have no idea whether it's going to work. We're now going to create a visualization that is then actually impossible to create with just plain Power BI. So let's try and figure out if we can make this very slow flight over New York City, almost as if it is a drone flight of kinds, where we see all the taxi pickups happening, and let's do them month by month across the years that we have in the dataset. Okay, we have an attaboy here for Claude, apparently. That's amazing. Now change the visualization. I like this one, so let's copy this image. Let's attach that. And let's see if we can find similar things. What's it called? A shaded relief map. So shaded relief map. New York, Queens. That's all Lower Manhattan. This contains a bit of Queens and Brooklyn. Copy the image. Let's see what it's going to do. So I've now asked it the following thing. To change the visualization, I want to build something awesome. The thing is, I can create visuals in Power BI really easily. So for this app, we should make something that has the wow factor, something Power BI cannot do. And I'm thinking of a slow drone flight over New York City, where we see taxi trips originating down below in the streets. They should be based on the pickup locations. Do not take the boroughs, but go a level deeper, more granular. Then visualization-wise, consider the images attached. Those are the images of the shaded relief maps that we just saw. And then I want it to pan slowly as if it is a drone flight. A timeline should play all the pickup taxi trip counts by year and month. And while panning over the city, we see the locations light up as a heat map under us. Or beneath us. Forgive me my English as a secondary language. So Claude has now been telling me that this is a very ambitious task with hard dependencies that aren't in the semantic model. And these are date range and zone coordinate. Well, these are in the model. There's no coordinates, location, borough, zone. And All right, we have 192 months and 265 locations. That's all fine. Now let this run. Let's sit back and enjoy. Okay, so now validating the query first. That's fine. Let it. I would just let it do that. Let's check Claude usage for now, because I want to understand whether we're going to actually do this. And this is super easy. We are way within our limits, so that's really cool. Now this is quite a difficult video for me to edit. I have to cut out a lot of stuff, I imagine. But then again, I chose this profession. I should deal with the consequences, probably. While this is running, I'll grab coffee. So I got myself a coffee and we are presented with a question. So where the geometry should come from. Let's take it out of the open data. That's fine. And LiDAR, blah, blah, blah. It's an offline specialist render. What's the closest achievable base map? Extruded buildings. Yeah, that's fine. Camera flight over base map, which is a rendering library. Heat maps. This is fine. (2009, 10, and 11 will not be mapped. That's fine. Okay, let it puzzle then and pontificate and do whatever it's going to do. Deliberate. Ah, we are getting over 1 million buildings with roof heights. All right, this is cool. That's amazing. It is doing all kinds of stuff. I have no idea what's happening right now. This might not be the best way to do things in production, but for now, this is a great experiment, and it's awesome to be doing this, frankly. Yep. Okay, so all kinds of stuff is being downloaded now, and I imagine that location information is being downloaded, visualizations are being downloaded, building information with location and heights are being downloaded, all in order to create this visualization of the 3D map that represents New York City from above, where we then can put everything in. The camera flight path is being created now. So this means that even though Claude and Rayfin had no idea on how to actually create a visualization of a flight over a 3D relief map, it is actually going to build that. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but at least we're going quite far. And Claude is being able to fetch the proper packages, data sources, and data sets that we need. So this is all looking very promising. And we are burning through quite some tokens, I can imagine. But still, I'm quite happy with what's going on, and I cannot wait to see the end result. All right, so after quite some time of waiting, it seems that Claude has finished building. So let's see what is actually going on, what the output is here. All right, so it renders the 3 stacked layers for our New York City flight map. We have water, zone plates are the heat map. And then density is log scaled against the 99th percentile, not the max. Manhattan zones out volume. Okay, so Manhattan is many times bigger, by orders of magnitude than the rest. Cameron timeline share 1 clock. Data pipeline, we have 1 million footprints simplified, blah blah blah. That's cool. Judgment calls. We skip map liber. Okay, that's fine. The timeline is starting in 2011. That was already known. New Jersey and Westchester render as water. We only have the New York City zone geometry. There's no land plate for New Jersey and Westchester. That's fine. And then we have 5 model zones with no shape. Governors Island, blah, blah, blah. Outside New York, those are 56 million trips. but only 400,000 are real places. That's less than 0.01% of 3.5 billion mappable trips. All right, he hasn't seen the render, Claude says, and then let's start. No, let's publish directly. Okay, so it is deploying now. It's deploying using the correct project name and workspace. That fabric guy, the deploy is running. It's reusing the existing item. And it will take a while to finish because the app is rather large. So it's a bigger app than it used to be. It's, let's see, it's only 34 megabytes, so it's not that massive. But still, it's a bit bigger than maybe usual. It was not a failure. The insight is still underway. It's waiting on the upload, yeah. All right, we deployed, and I mean, let's just dive right into the browser and see what the app is actually going to do. So let's remove all of this, and here, refresh the app. Now it's connecting, it's loading 14 years of pickups over New York. Please, please, please be cool. Please be awesome. This can take a while. It's 3.5 billion lines of data, so that's a lot. Oh, here we are. Okay, that's cool. We see Manhattan in the distance. The map is panning. Okay. Can we hover? No, we cannot hover over it. Busiest pickup zone, Upper East Side. That should be around here. No, sorry, around here. All right, I mean, this is all looking quite cool, quite awesome. We're going over Brooklyn and Queens there in the distance now. Okay, this is kind of cool. It's a bit slow. And I think with some more prompting and more refinement, we can really make this work. And we see here that we are flying through the months. We can see how many pickups there were inside that month. So it's around 13 million. And then in 2020, of course, during COVID, we see that there's way less taxi trips happening. One thing that I would change probably in the future is the way that the taxi trips itself are being showcased. Right now they're shown as a heat map, so you see that the darker we are, the darker that a zone is, the more. There we go again. Yeah, so the darker a zone is, the more trips are originating there. But then again, I would probably not do a zone fill, but just do a star or maybe a bubble or something like that. And also, instead of bouncing around across the city, I would just do a straight pan up and down or something like that. Let's do that in the future. That would be awesome for our next video. This is it. I have to run. This was all the time I had for recording today. I'm really amazed with the results. There's a lot of room for improvement, obviously, but with Power BI, there is no way you would get a visualization like this. Absolutely no way. And without any programming skills, we were able to build this app in just under an hour. So we condensed it in this video, of course. I think it took an hour or so during filming, and I'm really amazed with the results so far. So let's figure out what we can do to make this better in part 2 of the video. See you then. Ciao, ciao.